Every year, my friends and I planned a week-long ski trip, a break from work, from responsibilities, from the everyday grind. It was tradition, something I looked forward to every winter. This year was supposed to be the same. I kissed my wife, Lena, goodbye that morning, my bag already packed in the back of my truck. She smiled at me, soft and sweet, wrapping her arms around my neck like she always did. "Have fun, Noah," she said, resting her head on my chest. "Be safe." I told her I would. Then I left, never suspecting that by the time I returned, my entire marriage would be a lie. The storm came out of nowhere. 3 days into the trip, the forecast took a sudden turn. A blizzard was rolling in, the roads were shutting down, and we had no choice but to pack up early. I wasn't even disappointed. I was excited. Coming home early meant I'd get 3 extra days with Lena. Maybe we'd stay in, cook dinner together, watch old movies. She had just quit her job, was about to start a new one next week. I figured she'd be home, relaxing, waiting for me. I should have called ahead. I should have paid attention to the signs. But I didn't. I pulled into the driveway just after 8 p.m., the snowfall light but steady. Her car was there. The house was dark. I smiled to myself. Maybe she had fallen asleep early. I walked inside, shaking off the cold. The silence was thick, the kind that made my stomach clench. Something was off. Then I saw it. A coat draped over the back of a chair. A pair of shoes near the door. Men's shoes. My pulse hammered in my ears. I moved through the house carefully, each step feeling heavier than the last. And then I heard them. A muffled laugh. A low voice. Coming from our bedroom. I didn't stop to think. I pushed the door open. And there she was. Lena, my wife, with another man. In our bed. They both froze. Her eyes went wide with horror. The man, some stranger I had never seen before, scrambled to pull the blanket over himself, his face twisting in panic. "Noah," Lena gasped, scrambling upright. I didn't hear the rest, because I was already walking away. I wasn't going to fight him. I wasn't going to argue with her. I was going to end her. I don't remember leaving the house. One minute, I was standing in the doorway of our bedroom, watching my wife scramble for excuses while some half-naked stranger looked for his pants. The next, I was gripping the steering wheel of my truck, my knuckles white, the cold air stinging my face through the open window. I should have been furious. I should have turned back, kicked the guy's teeth in, screamed at Lena until my throat was raw. But I didn't. Because anger fades. Revenge lasts forever. I checked into a cheap motel on the edge of town and did something I never thought I'd have to do. I started digging. Lena had quit her job last month, telling me she was burned out, ready for a fresh start. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? She had worked at the same law firm for 5 years, always complaining about the long hours, the stress, the office politics. I figured she left because she was tired of the grind. But now I wondered if she left because someone at work knew what she was doing behind my back. I logged into our shared bank account, scrolling through the last 6 months of transactions. I found hotel charges, expensive dinners, late-night rideshare fees to addresses I didn't recognize. I checked her phone records. One number appeared over and over again. I copied it, ran a quick search. It belonged to her former boss. The truth no one wanted to tell me. The next morning, I made some calls. I started with an old friend who still worked at the law firm. At first, he hesitated. Told me he wasn't sure what really happened, that Lena had just left abruptly, no notice, no explanation. I pushed him. Finally, he cracked. "She was having an affair, Noah." His voice was tight, apologetic. "With Daniel, her boss, a married man." I swallowed the acid in my throat. How long? A year, maybe more. People started noticing. That's why she left. That's why she left. Not because she was burned out. Not because she wanted a fresh start. She left because she got caught. I hung up without another word. I stared at my phone, my breathing slow, controlled. It wasn't just some random one-night stand. She had been cheating for over a year. With her boss, a man whose wife probably had no idea what was happening. Lena had lied to me every single day. But now, I had the truth. And I was going to use it to burn her world to the ground. Step 1. Cut her off. Lena had always depended on me financially. She had savings, sure, but most of our expenses were paid from my salary. Not anymore. I transferred every dollar from our joint account into a private one she couldn't touch. I canceled her credit cards. I froze access to all shared assets. She was about to wake up broke. Step 2. Expose her. I compiled everything: the text logs, the hotel receipts, the proof of her affair with Daniel, and I sent it to Daniel's wife, to Lena's family, to her closest friends. Step 3. Make her leave. She thought the house was hers too. She was wrong. I met with a lawyer that afternoon, filed the eviction paperwork. By the time I was done, she had 2 weeks to get the hell out. She wouldn't just lose me. She would lose everything. I returned home that night. Lena was in the kitchen, her phone in her hand, her face pale. She had seen the emails. She had checked her bank account. She knew. Noah! Her voice cracked, her eyes red-rimmed, desperate. What did you do? I tossed the eviction notice onto the counter. You have 14 days. Tears welled in her eyes. Please, I made a mistake. I laughed, an empty, hollow sound. A mistake? I tilted my head. No, a mistake is one bad choice. I leaned in, my voice ice cold. You made hundreds. She broke, right there in front of me. But I didn't care, because I was already gone. Thank you for listening to the story to the end. Please like, share your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel.